وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولا تكونوا كالذين تفرقوا واختلفوا من بعد ما جاءهم البينات وأولئك لهم عذاب عظيم يوم تبيض وجوه وتسود وجوه فأما الذين اسودت وجوههم أكفرتم بعد إيمانكم فذوقوا العذاب بما كنتم تكفرون وأما الذين ابيضت وجوههم ففي رحمة الله هم فيها خالدون تلك آيات الله نتلوها عليك بالحق وما الله يريد ظلما للعالمين ولله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإلى الله ترجع الأمور صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Surah Al-Imran, today inshallah we'll complete the ruku from ayah 105 to 109. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ, do not be like those people, تَفَرَّقُوا, who became divided. وَاخْتَلَفُوا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَهُمُ الْبَيِّنَاتِ, and fell into disputes after the clear signs had come to them. وَأُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ, those are the ones for whom there is a grave punishment. It's a very important ayat. We'll spend some time here in explaining the detail of this. So what is tafarruqa? Do not, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing the Muslims and saying that do not be like the people who became divided among themselves and fell into dispute after they had got what? Bayyinat. So أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ, these are the people for whom there will be a great punishment. So these people are the kuffar, because after the clear signs about the Prophet ﷺ came to them, and the Prophet ﷺ himself presented those signs to them, and the ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, very open ones, came to them, they still did not believe in the Prophet ﷺ, and they started ikhtilaf with the bayyinat. For the Muslims, this ayah gives a very clear ruling as well, that ikhtilaf fil bayyinat, dispute or division in bayyinat. What are bayyinat? Bayyin means open, very clearly open. So bayyinat are those ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those commands from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which are very open, very clear. If people create dispute among bayyinat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that they will become like those people, the Yahud and the Nasara, who got the clear signs and created dispute among them and did not agree to them and did not agree to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And these are the people who will have adabun azim for them. The kuffar and the Muslims who create dispute in bayyinat, in very open signs. From here, the Hazrat Mufassirin have also explained what kind of tafarruqa is a blessing, as said by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that ikhtilaf in my ummah is a blessing. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing tafarruqa in a very negative sense, that this is such a bad thing, right? So we have to understand what ikhtilaf is, zahmat, or a curse and a pain and a source of dispute for the whole ummah, and what kind of ikhtilaf is indeed actually a blessing. For this, first we have to understand ijtihad. Bayyinat are those ayat, those commands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that are very clear. And all the aqaid, all the core beliefs of Islam are based on bayyinat. They are very clear, there is no dispute, there is no difference of opinion among them. Ikhtilaf comes when we call them technically in furu'. Furu' are peripheries of deen. Peripheries of deen that are either not present in the Quran at all, or even if they are present in the Quran, they are explained in vague or not too clear terms, not very clear terms. So there may be a difference of Sahaba among the Sahaba in how they interpret those ayat. or there may be a difference among the Aimma, most of them being Tabi'een, the people who came right after the Sahaba, among the application of those ayat and some ahadith. But those ikhtilafat are in the furu', and the real reason why they exist is because some Sahaba saw the Prophet ﷺ doing something in a certain way. The other Sahaba saw the Prophet ﷺ doing that same action in another way. Therefore, when it came to Tabi'een or the Aimma Mujtahideen, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i and Imam Ahmad al-Hanbal, they got different narrations. Or maybe they got the same narrations, but they got different strength of those narrations. For example, in the case of Imam Abu Hanifa, he himself explained that first off, I take the ayat of the Quran. Then I take the narration of the hadith. And if there's multiple narrations of that hadith, I take the narration that comes from the faqih sahaba. So there's a difference of narration among the same thing. Imam Hanifa rahimahullah has himself explained his methodology that I take that narration which comes from the strongest, the longest Sahaba, the Sahaba who lived with the Prophet ﷺ the longest and who were declared faqih by the Prophet ﷺ. If there is no narration on such matter, then I go to the teachings of the students of Sahaba, the Tabi'een, and when there is difference among even the Tabi'een, then I determine or I judge between those different methods among the Tabi'een, and I tell the Ummah that this is my mazhab or this is my rai about this difference that occurs in the rai of Tabi'een, in the opinion of Tabi'een. So this is the methodology of Imam Abu Hanifa, for example. All of these Aimma, these were mujtahideen. What is ijtihad? Ijtihad is when there is no clear word or ayah about a matter in the Quran. There is maybe seemingly conflicting opinion or hadith about it, and there is maybe apparently a conflicting way of Sahaba, or all of that is not found, right? Then somebody who is well versed with complete knowledge of the Quran. So it's not like somebody knows one ayah and they can do ijtihad from that ayah. No. They have to have complete knowledge of the complete Quran. Understand? An overarching and all-encompassing knowledge of the Quran, and not only the Quran but the hadith and the life of the Sahaba. Because these are things that will clarify if there is a conflicting situation. And they also have to have very good knowledge of the language, and particularly the language that was used and the muhavara, the way they used to speak in that time. Because the Prophet ﷺ has said that Quran has come on the muhavara of the Arabs, on the language, the way they used to speak in Arab, in that time, the Arabs of that time. The third necessary thing that every mujtahid has to have is taqwa. Extreme level of taqwa, a high level of piety, because without taqwa they cannot dive into this knowledge of the Quran and the hadith and the way of the Sahaba, and they cannot be trusted to find out a ruling which is not based on their nafsaniyat or their own desire and based on the truth. So if they don't have these three things, they are not qualified to become a mujtahid. There's other conditions. So there's very few people who can qualify to be a mujtahid. The Aimma Mujtahideen, those four Aimma upon which for over 1400 years the Ummah has agreed to follow one of them. The Ummah has agreed to follow one of them. All of them, according to a consensus of the ulama, they qualified to be a mujtahid. And they were people right after the time of Sahaba. Most of them were students of the Sahaba. Imam Abu Hanifa, for example, it is proven for him that he had learned at least from four Sahaba. At least from four Sahaba. So, this ikhtilaf, which is based on taqwa and sincerity of intention, which is with full knowledge of the Quran and Hadith in the way of the Sahaba, and which is with full knowledge of the language of Arabic, the Arabic language, and it is based on full honesty, and it is in matters of ijtihad, things that are not clearly found in the Quran, not clearly found in the Hadith, then that ikhtilaf is called an ijtihadi ikhtilaf. an ijtihadi difference. And that difference is declared by the Prophet ﷺ as a blessing in the ummah. As a blessing in the ummah. And this kind of minor ikhtilaf in furur, in the peripheries of deen, existed in the Sahaba as well. Some Sahabi would do something like in one particular manner, other Sahaba would do that same thing in a different manner, because they had seen the Prophet ﷺ do it the way they had seen and they were doing it. So, and we've heard from scholars that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to keep all the sunnahs of the Prophet ﷺ going till the end of the world. So these will keep on going. But the thing is that in terms of ijtihad, only one way is right. Only one way is right. But do we know what is right? No, because we are not mujtahid, right? The mujtahid who is doing ijtihad, they do it based on their knowledge, their understanding and their wisdom, their capacity, right? So, of course, there may be differences in ijtihad. One thing that we established is that this ikhtilaf is rahmat, is blessing, as said by the Prophet ﷺ. Even in this ikhtilaf, one is right, the others are wrong. Two men cannot be saying different opinions and can both be right. But it is not for us to judge. It is not for us to judge. These ikhtilafat, the Sahaba have said that these ikhtilafat used to exist among us, and there used to be difference of fatwa among Sahaba. But the thing to remember, two things to remember. Number one is right, the other is wrong, but nobody declared the other one wrong and themselves as the only right thing, okay? They respected each other. Even if they differed in haram things and halal things, that may happen. That some may hold it really despised as makruh tahrimi, the other faqih and mujtahid may actually call it haram. So if somebody is doing a haram thing and considering it halal, what do they become? Kafir, right? But because if something is different, is haram or makruh tahrimi, if there is a difference of ruling based on ijtihad, the thing to be remembered is that on ijtihadi haram and ijtihadi halal or ijtihadi makruh, ruling of kufr is never applied. Ruling of kufr is never applied. Getting that point? If something is declared haram based on ijtihad, ruling of kufr is never applied. It is written in tafasir, reference and words of the Sahaba, that they said that there used to be difference among halal and haram even in the Sahaba, but nobody used to declare another person kafir. So what is going on in today's world is that people who want to become, who are self-proclaimed scholars of deen, they have lost this point. They have lost this point and they have lost sight of how united the Sahaba were, even when they had these ikhtilafat in the peripheries of deen. We are using these ikhtilafat in this day, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all, to declare fatawa of kufr on each other, which is totally impermissible. When ijtihad declares something halal or haram, the ruling of kufr is never applied. The other thing to be noted is that in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only one is correct, and for us, we are not the judges. For us, the safest way, and in fact the only permissible way, is to, as has been the consensus of this ummah, which is itself a daleel, and we can go into the details of that later on, or we can go into the details of that. We went into the weekend classes, we went into the detail of this, that why is the consensus of the ummah itself a credible source of knowledge or a credible source of agreement or ruling. Because there has been ijma' that for 1400 years the ummah, all the scholars have agreed that these are the four Imam Mujtahideen: Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Malik, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, Imam Shafi'i. The consensus of the ummah has been that for every individual, either he's a mujtahid, which we've said that they cannot be a mujtahid, it's very hard to become a mujtahid, you have to have so much qualification. If you are not a mujtahid, and 99.9% of the time you are not a mujtahid, then you have to be a muqallid. You have to follow one of the A'immah. You have to follow one of the A'immah, either stick to Imam Abu Hanifa and follow his mazhab in totality, in every aspect, or follow Imam Malik and follow his mazhab totality. Even mazhab jumping. I'm a Hanafi in the morning, I'm a Maliki in the evening. I'm a Hanafi when it comes to Fajr, I am a Maliki when it comes to Asr, right? Because the other Imam pray Asr early, Imam Abu Hanifa recommends praying Fajr late. So I want to complete my sleep in the night, I'm going to become a Hanafi in the morning. When it comes to Asr, I'm going to become a Maliki or Shafi because I want to pray Asr early. Even that is not permissible. Because that again opens up the avenue of your nafs, your desire being your leader. Right? You are basically making your desire your leader. I want to do this. I find this in the Mazhab of Imam Abu Hanifa, easy, I'll pick this up. So even Mazhab jumping is not permitted because it is based on the consensus of the Ummah that if Mazhab jumping is allowed, that you're a Hanafi now, you're a Maliki now, you take this ruling from here, you take this ruling from here, you are basically, your Imam is not either of these, your Imam is your nafs. So we should prohibit ourselves from going there as well. But anyway, under this ayah, this needed to be explained. The detail can be asked from ulama. يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ اسْوَدَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ أَكَفَرْتُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ فَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابَ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْفُرُونَ. So this is connected with the previous ayah which said وَأُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ, and it is those are the ones for whom there is a grave punishment. يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُّ, on a day when some faces shall turn bright and some faces shall turn dark. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ ابْيَضَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ فَفِي رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. As for those faces, يَوْمَ تَبْيَضُّ وُجُوهٌ وَتَسْوَدُّ وُجُوهٌ فَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ اسْوَدَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ أَكَفَرْتُمْ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِكُمْ فَذُوقُوا الْعَذَابَ بِمَا كُنْتُمْ تَكْفُرُونَ. As for those whose faces turn dark, they shall be questioned. Did you disbelieve after you had accepted the faith? Now taste the punishment because you used to disbelieve. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ ابْيَضَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ فَفِي رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. As for those whose faces turn bright, they will rest in Allah's mercy. هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ, they will live there forever. So far, two other things. On the Day of Judgment, the people who do ikhtilaf and go into the realm of kufr because of this ikhtilaf fil bayyinat, fil open things, their faces will turn dark. The Mufassirin have also said that this may also mean that those people, the Yahud and Nasara who did not accept the Prophet ﷺ and started to create disputes, their faces will turn dark. And the people of the face of the believers will be bright because of the nur of their iman. وَأَمَّا الَّذِينَ ابْيَضَّتْ وُجُوهُهُمْ فَفِي رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. Those people whose faces turn bright, they will be فَفِي رَحْمَةِ اللَّهِ, they will be in the rahmat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This also hints that everyone who's going to enter Jannah is going to, number one, stay there forever, and that will be out of mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The best of the people also will enter into Jannah not because of their qualification, but because of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What hard work they did, the result of that hard work is that hard work paid off by attracting the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everyone enters Jannah because out of mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hum fiha khalidun, those who get this mercy, they will stay there forever, they will never be pulled out of Jannat. تلك آيات الله نتلوها عليك بالحق وما الله يريد ظلما للعالمين ولله ما في السماوات وما في الأرض وإلى الله ترجع الأمور. These are the verses of Allah we recite to you with all veracity. Allah does not intend to do injustice to anyone in the words. To Allah belongs what is in the heavens and what is in the earth. To Allah all matters are returned. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. رب اغفر وارحم وأنت خير الراحمين. صلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.